Namaskaram to everyone. Welcome to Gayatri Ma to have joined our satsang group. For the last 2 years, she has been in the prison. So today she has been liberated from the prison. The prison of the AV room. This is for good. She chose to be in the prison. Today she got liberated, sir. The Guru has given the order, sir. You don't get the point, sir. The Guru needs to liberate. She is not wanting to be liberated. I said you're liberated. No. Sir, this was very much possible even those days. But I said, why can't you be here? Whatever she has to do, she can still do it remotely from the laptop. Andava. Manda Buddhi. That's correct. No, those of you online who don't know what the context is, Srinivas Garu, your seat is gone. She has come and occupied your seat. That is precisely Srinivas Reddy Garu's seat. So she has come and taken over your seat. Now she has been liberated from the AV room. She has come out. And now she's sitting with the audience. That's the whole celebration.
Only thing it took 2 years.
Only thing it took 2 years.
That is why Lord Keynes said,
Who said?
Lord Keynes, man will act rationally, but only after exploring other alternatives.
Correct. பாவம் இவ்வளவு சேவா பண்ணிருக்காங்க இந்த மாதிரி சொல்றீங்க நீங்க. Thanks to Vijayji, our
that is the explanation for 2 years.
Correct. Thanks to Vijayji, because of his initiative, he has upgraded it to a professional system and it started behaving itself. That's the reason now Gayatri Ma is liberated. Absolutely. It's real appreciation to Vijayji for his amazing foresight. When we were using a 4 mic mixer, now he has brought as a 24 mic mixer. And when we said, why is it you're doing so? He said, it will serve even for the Wisdom Academy. So that is a long side he has. So it shall serve, sir. And that is the effect of it. We are seeing a long-term vision he had. And a yogi also has a clear vision, sir. Tunnel vision. So the last quality that we did was a yogi. Who is a yogi? We said a yogi is one who is established in the path of yoga. And what is yoga? Yoga is defined as one who is attempting to unite with the self or one who is already united with the self. So the same definition, one who is trying to get back to the self, you and me can be called a yogi, or one who's already merged with the self and become one with the self also is called a yogi. The only difference is a practitioner is from a relative standpoint and one who's attained that self is from an absolute standpoint. But the definition is one who is attempting to get back to the self. So a true bhakta, as we said, is one who never loses his sight of the goal. He is ever, whatever he may be doing, he is constantly attuned, constantly in sight of his goal. So having fixed his goal, in fact, in the next quality, he talks of self-control. In the 11th quality, he's talking about having firm conviction. So the next 2 qualities also are in line with what is being said here. Is once you have fixed a goal, you must have a firm conviction. A conviction is from an intellectual perspective. intellect, when we talk of intellect, we are talking about intellect at the gross level. It's a gross intellect. When I come to that quality, I'll explain. What we are only saying is, having fixed a goal, your intellect very certain that this is my pursuit of life. Thereafter, you don't lose sight of your goal. But in general cases, what happens? Many people don't conceive a goal. They don't have a clarity as to what they want to achieve in their lives. As a result of which, their mind keeps wandering all over. Their energies get dissipated all over. So it is very important to have a clear goal, and then you oblate all your actions towards that attainment of the goal. And a yogi exhibits that quality of dedicating, oblating all his actions, which means whether it be physical, emotional, intellectual, all energies are directed towards that attainment of the goal. As we said, it is a tunnel vision, a very clear vision where you don't get distracted. You can either call it a tunnel vision or have your blinkers on. The same concept. Having your blinkers on means you're very clear where you want to lead yourself to. Bhakta is one who has that very clear purpose. And last point in the last satsang we mentioned, and one of the qualities, if you remember what we said the last satsang, the last thing in the context, what is that quality that takes us to that goal? SR, you remember? I remember asking you.
Yes, Guruji. I think I made an answer of Shraddha.
Shraddha, but how did we clarify?
But in the end, the answer was a consistency in our actions.
Correct. So the quality which is going to take us to the goal is consistent actions. And I know we have often spoken of this in this classroom, but just a quick mention. What is it that makes your actions consistent? Consistency is required to get to the goal. Now the question is, what is it that makes your actions consistent? Because what we experience is there is a nature of being inconsistent. Whatever we are doing, we keep falling apart. We keep falling off from that course of action.
That could be a direction, Guruji.
Sorry?
The direction, lack of direction is the one where it leads to inconsistency.
No. So you know the direction, but you keep falling off the direction. As example, if I want to gain health, I know I need to lead a life of disciplined exercise. I know what exercise I need to do, but I don't do it consistently. It's not that I lack direction. I know what I need to do, but I don't do it consistently. Discipline is from a layman's perspective. Now again, what is it that strong faith? Shraddha is again a faith. But the question is, what makes your actions consistent? Commitment? It is, Ramji is rightly saying, it is the role of the intellect. But how does the intellect play the role? Tanisnan. When you say intellect to control the mind, how exactly the intellect controls the mind with reference to making your actions consistent? Because you can use the context of controlling the mind in many things. If I were to, in the next point, we are going to discuss next quality, self-control. There also you must.
Yeah, intellect plays the role.
But with reference to consistency, how does intellect play a role?
Consistency of purpose. It is.
Indeed.
So then it is making you, intellect makes the mind focus on the purpose, because mind has a tendency of straying away from the purpose. So it is a role of the intellect to keep it focused on the purpose.
How? You only added one word purpose to the equation. No, additional word you've answered is purpose. Correct, huh? Ushama agrees. How does the intellect make the mind follow a set purpose? Okay, sir, can you tell me what makes your action, sorry, ma, what makes your actions inconsistent?
Yeah, because the mind is attracted by the world in many ways, and so it loses the purpose of what it is trying to achieve, right? And here we basically, when we say it is all related to self-realization only, right?
Not necessary. Any goal. As I took the example of gaining health.
In any goal, it is the mind which is the culprit, because the mind takes you away from the goal, right? So, of course, I don't think I'm answering your question, but
No. How did you get to that conclusion? It is written all over my face, is it?
From your face, I can make.
No. You are actually getting at it, but you have actually spelled it out. What it is that makes your action inconsistent? It's the mind. So the mind tends to get distracted. It gets carried away. So what gives a direction to the mind is the intellect conceiving the goal.
Conceiving the goal, yeah.
So what makes your actions consistent is the intellect conceiving the goal. And then second point is ensuring the mind doesn't get distracted with anything that doesn't take me to the goal. Yeah. So the mind may go here and there, but if it helps me, let's say Suresh calls me and says, Guruji, there is a beautiful bhajan going on, or a ghazal session going on. I have got 2 tickets. I am going. Would you like to come? I remember in Malaysia, once there's a beautiful auditorium. I think 3,000 or 4,000 auditorium. It's in Putrajaya. It's called the Pradhana or Prime Minister Putrajaya Convention Center. Huge one. And one of the students out of the blue called me and said, I have got 2 tickets for a ghazal concert by Anup Jalota, which would run late into the evening. It's actually an hour's drive from Kuala Lumpur, and he said, we'll go. I immediately said yes. I still remember that evening because it was all lovely bhajans and kirtans they were singing. So when an invitation comes to you, the intellect must check, is this action helping me to take me to my goal? So that awareness of the intellect to be able to say yes or no to anything that the mind is interested in. If it takes me to my goal, I do it. If it doesn't take me to my goal, I'll not do it. So in whatever you do, you are consistently thinking of your goal. And how it helps you is that intellectual conceiving of the goal, intellectual awareness of the goal. Point is, I conceive it and I forget about the goal. Then no point. You don't know what you're doing, where you're going. So that aspect is what you did mention. The mind, what makes action consistent is if it's the mind takes over, then they say you are like a feather in a summer breeze. You don't know where the feather keeps going because the breeze keeps changing its directions.
We say that I'm sharpening my intellect. If I want to be focused on the goal, like if I take the health itself and I'm moving, that is my goal. And the mind is there, the intellect is there. So how do I strengthen the intellect and not allow the mind to come in between and not make me go to my goal?
The classes you're attending will not going to help you.
Okay.
So I don't know what you're doing here.
No, it's not like that.
I am very clear what I'm saying. You may still continue to come, but I'm saying these classes will not help you to gain intellect. Because
Okay,
what,
it's,
no, let me complete.
we need to work on ourselves.
Let me complete. Yeah. Because halfway you leave it, then all of you will vacate here. Then I'll be very soon jobless. So I should complete my sentence, no? What I'm saying is, when you come to a teacher or come to a satsang, what you're only gaining is information. But what a student needs to do is, having acquired the information, the knowledge received has to be processed. You have to question, understand, analyze, what we know as reflect on the knowledge. So it is that exercise of reflection on the knowledge gained from a teacher or a textbook helps you to internalize knowledge. And the wisdom that you gather from the process of such exercise reflects in the clarity of thought, which is known as buddhi, the intellect.
Okay.
So this process is done by the seeker himself. No guru or teacher can facilitate for you. To that extent, I said, that process of intellect, I can't give you in this classroom. So what you do after this helps you to kindle the process of awakening of the intellect or generating or production of new intellectual capacity. And as you do that, ideally early hours, 5 to 6 a.m., when you do that steady, you get clarity of thought. That intellect comes. And then if you do that, let's say for 1 month, if I give you a book and say, start reading and start questioning, start reflecting on this, within a month's time, you will start seeing a difference, a clear difference. You know, what is it may take a while for the intellect to develop, but what is the first thing that will happen? See, with reference to the intellect, there are 3 stages of intellect. What are the 3 stages? Huh? Receive, process, no. What are 3 stages of intellect? Gama. What are 3 stages of intellect? The intellectual availability is either before the action, while acting, or isn't it? We all wake up after we perform an act and we say, oops, I wish I didn't do that. Or why was I not alert at that point? So these are the 3 stages of availability of the intellect. So ideally, what we should aspire is to move from after to while to before. So when the intellect is sharp and alert, it will be available prior to the action. Now, since we are talking on the intellect, there are 2 exercises that we are told to do. Though we are going out of context literally, but I will mention on this. First, as I said, is reflection. When you start reflecting, okay, let me put other aspect also. One is reflection, another is known as introspection. Now, what introspection does is, It awakens the existing dormant intellect. So all of us have some intellectual quotient. It could be 5%, it could be 20%. But anything which is not used, like a battery, which is not used for a while, what will happen? It will conk. You need to jump start it. You don't start your car for a month or two, what will happen? It will not start. Similarly, if you have not used your intellect for a while, it will happen, it will go into a cold storage. It becomes redundant. So introspection, it brings the intellect back to your existing capacity. This is, when do you do introspection? When you do introspection? Huh?
Before embarking on an action, after the action,
Correct. But when do you do it? When do you do introspection? Introspection is just a 5-minute exercise EOD. What is EOD? End of the day. The last thing you do before you close your eyes and shut for the day, the last thing you do is on the bed. Before you sleep, the last 5 minutes, you do introspection. So what you're doing introspection, you're only scanning your day's activities from that day's first act in the morning till that moment you get to bed. You're scanning. So when you scan, you're only observing what has happened. You're not analyzing, you're not criticizing, you're not examining, you're not doing any post-mortem of any experience. It is just a scanning and taking an observation. Oh, I was late for the class this morning. I lost my temper at my servant this morning. I ate extra paratha this morning. I slept 1 hour, 10 minutes extra. I missed the alarm. I had a cup of coffee this morning. See, you should stop them, put an alarm for 5 minutes and stop it. So what would happen is, let's say, if you register that I have been late for the class or I have lost my temper. So when you keep doing this, what happens? The intellect has taken a note of what experience has happened. So when you start doing introspection, slowly the intellect which is available after will start coming to while. Next time, when you're getting into the lift, you know, I must let the people out first before I enter the lift. Last time I was pushing those fellows and going into the lift. I did. And that fellow who was coming out of the lift shouted at me, "You fellow have no manners. Is this what it is, efficacy? Can't you wait? Then you got a small argument. That is registered, picked up in introspection when you do the night. So next time when you get into the lift, here, watch out. So the introspection, what it will do is, it will try to create a greater level of awareness. But that is only a 5-minute exercise. That's only scanning. There is no effort put in there. It is just trying to, what is there not activate, trying to activate it. But you know, you will only remember which actions you remember. actions you'll remember? When you're trying to recollect that evening, which are the actions you'll remember? Which you have done consciously with your intellect only will remember. Example? No, what I mean is, an example can be, which are the files can you retrieve from your computer? You have done a work in your computer and you want to retrieve them. Which files can be retrieved? Only that which has been stored by you. If you have not stored or not saved, you can't retrieve it. You may have worked on it, but didn't save it. You shut it down. You can't retrieve it. So only actions which you've done on intellect, you'll remember. If I ask you, yesterday at 3:45, where were you? I can't remember. I don't know what I was doing. What I was doing. Example, I'll tell you, as I was driving, a lady calls me this morning, an elderly lady. I have not spoken to her for good 25 years. And she says, Hari Om Vinay. Hari Om Ma. You know who this is? Obviously, she knows me for long. And the way she addressed me, I knew she has taken the liberty of addressing me. Vinay, I said, yes, Ma. Very familiar, but it sounded very familiar. Name, I couldn't recall. And then I guessed her husband's name. Oh, you remember my husband, not me. Oh, is it Gita? And then we spoke for the next 10 minutes, which meant that more than half the distance I drove. Believe me, I drove without being conscious. I was driving on a auto mode because I was so engrossed in talking to her, refreshing my old memories, and she was a very old devotee of Swamiji in Hyderabad, and she said she has been searching for my number for more than a month, and somehow somebody was searching, got, and she passed, and she was so excited, and I was so happy to talk to her. But I drove for 10 minutes, and when I ended the call, I said, oops, I've already reached this far. And yet, I went on I was conscious of traffic, I didn't make a mistake, but it's all. But I did not register. I was not conscious of those 10 minutes of my driving. So you will not recall where you are, what you're doing, because your mind is elsewhere, your intellect is elsewhere. You're not conscious of the action. So you do a mechanical action. You can't recall that. When I do introspection, where I did, what happened, I will not recall. Just give me an example. How you can't recall actions which are not registered by the intellect. Now, this is something very simple. Introspection only awakens, remember this, awakens the existing dormant intellect. It will not go beyond what you have. If it is 10%, it will only bring from 3 to 10, that's all. It will not increase from 10 to 15. It will only bring it back to the capacity which you have not been using. It will not increase the intellectual strength. But reflection is, it's a conscious reiteration. It's like chewing the cud. It is breaking down the knowledge. It is done daily, 4 to 6 a.m. And this process of manana, this is known as manana, reflection. What does it do? It strengthens your intellect. This is the most important sadhana. This also applies to the other three, which is before, while, after, or after, while, before. You can go 2 minutes. Let them write down more. So, Jayashrima, because the intellect is not being kept in good condition, there are moments where the mind is more strong and you can't control it. How much ever you know, I am not meant to do it, but the intellect can't control because it's not strong enough to discipline or keep the mind in its place. So over a period of time, as you start doing introspection, you'll see immediate results. In a matter of a week or two, you will start seeing results because you're much, much alert. Like every time you leave home, you forget your keys, or you forget something every time you leave home. So every time you do introspection, you know, when I left home, I forgot that. So third or fourth day, when you're leaving home, before you step out, some ray of thought comes and alerts you. Don't forget this time. You start seeing results of it in the fifth day, I guarantee you.
The reason why I asked was like when I talk to the students, and then this introspection word has made sense now. Earlier, I was thinking introspection means analysis also there, but there is no analysis. But when it comes to reflection, you are analyzing.
Everything.
Yeah, we are analyzing what went well, what didn't go well. So the next time when I'm repeating that, then I know that, okay, this
See,
is.
analysis is not on the action. Analysis is on the knowledge.
Okay, it's on the knowledge.
You can do it with reference to case study just to understand the context better. But what you're trying to churn is the knowledge. It's not trying to understand case studies. The knowledge can be verified with reference to a specific case.
Okay.
You get it? Yes, Shivaji, you wanted to say something? One mic use பண்ணுங்க.
Yeah. The mind, we can make it work only when we repeatedly do the same task again and again. It could be any, even if it's the question of doing your regular yoga, whatever it is, only when you repeatedly do it, repeat it again and again, the mind starts. Mind is like the elephant. Elephant mouth controls. Only when it gives the direction it takes. Otherwise, elephant has got more power. It can go anywhere it wants to go. But it still listens to it because of the habit conditioning that though you have to repeat it again and again. Only repeated action, the mind can brought under control. That's why we need to do everything consistently at the same time. In fact, athletes who do the perform in the Olympics, they will exactly do that timing also. If it's going to be the 5 o'clock in the evening, they'll get to know they will practice at that time. So everything need to be done. The mind works only in that way. Again and again, repetition.
But we are saying even to do it repeatedly, something has to make it happen that way. See, even when we say repeated is nothing but consistent.
Consistent.
How do it consistent is you need to do it with the intellect. If the intellect doesn't let the mind do it, the mind will not do it repeatedly. See, it's like saying you gain health with repeated action. Repeated neglect creates ill health. repeated effort creates health. Yeah. If I continuously keep neglecting, what is the result? Ill health. If I repeatedly keep doing the right action, matter of time, I create health.
In fact, that's what we precisely call as habit. The mind gets into that habit. In fact, people who are addicted to alcohol, by 5:36, they have to find a way, water hole. It's a mind.
No, it's the mind. So mind is like a child. It is the intellect, the adult that needs to give it direction.
Control, yeah.
But if you don't give it a direction, the mind will run where it wants. And sir, a mind which is addicted to something also will do things consistently. Is it what we are talking about? A mind which is addicted to alcohol
Will consistently do it.
But is that what consistency we're talking about?
No, the issue is
That is not. That's why, sir, we say in meditation, what do we say? Intellect has to play the role to continuously keep the mind on chant. So whether be it concentration, whether be it consistency, or whether be it meditation, all three disciplines, you need the play of the intellect. If mind gets addicted to something and gets fascinated, it also may continuously do it. Like a mother is constantly thinking of the child.
Yes. Good or bad also it can. If you
Doesn't matter, good or bad, but that is not what we're talking about. If the mind by itself flows in a direction without the supervision of the intellect, it is not concentration.
Definitely it will not work.
It will not
It
work.
has to have
the conscious role of the intellect. Otherwise, a lover thinking of the beloved also is constantly thinking. Is that what we are talking about? That's addiction.
That is addiction.
That
Habit.
doesn't give you the result. Shima, don't get confused. No need to get. Please go and redefine those terms to your teachers. Thanks, Shivaji. So, the quality of the yogi is where a yogi has this sense of consistency of purpose. And what makes it is a very clear intellect. And interestingly, with reference to a bhakta, we're talking of an intellect, which is going to come up again. Okay. Yeah, indeed, sir. No, I did go. I remember that. No? Oh, you're still there only. Huh? I didn't complete that. I completed, I thought I went. So the last 10-15 minutes, what I spoke, if he could register. Like I didn't register what I drove 10 minutes while talking to that lady. Last 10-15 minutes, he's only wondering, did I go for Anup Jalata concert or not? That is not my point.
Discussion provoked the recapitulation. This discussion took me back to Malaysia and the concert.
All right, sir. Right, sir. Now I am back now here, sir. Where he is there and I am here now. Right, sir. Right, sir. Rightly so. Rightly so. So the next quality, the 10th quality is yatatma, means self-control. Again, it becomes very much similar in line where we said self-control, we often explain it as it is not depriving or denying of any sense interaction. It's not that the senses don't interact with the sense objects. It is not that the senses don't participate with sense objects. It is not denying of sense contact or sense pleasure. Sense control is not denying senses of any pleasures. Rather, Sridharji, solungo. Complete the sentence. Mic panungo. Mic use panungo. Sridharji kekra. Apro Sureshji. Sariya.
Self-control, it brings you on the track to be focused and disciplined.
What is the sentence I said? Sense control is not
Depriving of
depriving or denying of any sensual
senses.
pleasures.
Correct.
then what is self-control?
To do it in discipline in the right way.
What is discipline? What is right way there? So when we spoke of a yogi, what did we give example? We spoke about blinkers on, tunnel vision. You don't lose sight of the goal. Now, keeping that in the backdrop, explain quality of self-control.
Without distraction.
Yes. So when a sense object comes to you, the senses can enjoy the sense object, provided
Without defocusing from your goal.
defocusing or without distracting you from the chosen goal. So as long as any sense pleasure doesn't differ or deter your progression towards the goal, or it reminds you and aligns you with your goal, carry on. That is self-control. So it is not a self-imprisonment of denying and suppressing or frustrating yourself in the name of spirituality. Not that I must drop or give up any object of like or any object which you want to enjoy. No. Because a spiritual seeker may be exposed to the various world because he is still in the world of materiality and sensuality. But provided it doesn't become an impediment in the passage to truth, he will interact and associate with them. That again is possible only when the awareness is there. For example, went to a shop to buy a fabric for my kurta. Took the sample piece to the same store where every time I go and buy, it's not available. Scan up and down of the store. 3-4 samples were there. One sample, he said, sir, this is the closest, please take it. But believe me, when I touched the fabric, I said, no, it is not what I want. But he compelled and said, sir, please take this piece. Take one sample piece. But something is bothering me because the cloth is little shiny, slightly shining. He said, sir, you wash it 4-5 times, it will go. I said, no, I don't think so, it will go. Then he said, sir, actually, you see the other side of the cloth. This side is not shining. So tell your tailor to stitch this side. No big deal if I wear even the shining side. You will see little more halo around me here with all the light on me. But I am not comfortable. Anything that is shiny or anything that is, which doesn't associate me with my chosen goal. See, no glittery. See, even to that point, I was uncomfortable. Somehow, I'm waiting for the tailor to stitch and wear and see whether it really fits in. Otherwise, it will be one of the things I'll not wear it. So everything that should remind you of your goal. Otherwise, there is no taboo to possession. There is no taboo to enjoyment. That is the difference between a spiritual man and a sensual man. A sensual man has no purpose. His only purpose is to revel in the senses. A spiritual man engages his senses with necessary sensual objects as long as they don't interfere in the journey. Because spirituality is not to compartmentalize yourself. Spirituality is not to banish yourself of contacting the world. Why are we demonizing the sense objects? Why are we demonizing the senses? Not necessary, isn't it? Should I pluck my eyes out with fork and say, no, I should not see the world because eyes want only pleasant sight. So I should pluck out my eyes. Nose wants good smell. So plug my nose and breathe through the mouth. Cut my tongue because tongue wants taste. I will cut off my tongue. And I keep poking myself off, put a few thorns on this asana. So whenever I sit, I should not find any comfort. This velvet cloth should not give any comfort to my asan. Please put a few thorns. I know some of you may think, this is the opportunity. He only told, we will put not few, a few more we'll put. No, it's not. Sense control doesn't mean you have to punish your senses. It is not to deprive. It is to have a perfect mastery of them. An example is sense control, a perfect mastery of self-control. Example is tortoise drinks up. You don't tell me I gave, please. I have not spoken anything about no comment telling. You're distributing me now. Oh, is it?
1 and 2, you are the master. The intellect is used.
But this master never said that. I don't know which master she is referring to. 1 and 2, I am the master. 3 and 4, the drink is the master. I know. So I get that. Long time back.
The problem is after 1 and 2, you are reminded of Oscar Wilde's words that the only way to resist temptation is to yield to it.
Correct. That only philosophy comes after the second. But we are listening to this in philosophy before the first, not after the second. See, the perfect Shastras give a perfect example of self-control is Lord Ganesha. Lord Ganesha is someone who was fascinated with food. So come the festival, all the goodies are prepared to offer to Lord. So where is his attention? When the food is there at his feet, where is the attention of the Lord? Not on the food. He's saying straight, almost as it were disinterested in what's being offered. What is the mind? Harish, what is the mind, Harish? Harish is reveling within, so I need to catch his and get his revelation.
Now, just hearing your story about Lord Ganesha and the food, I was just into that. I was thinking of it.
Your net is not, we're not able to get your streaming well.
Is it clear now, Guruji?
No, there is a delay or something not right.
I can see and hear everything very clearly on.
You're still in Hong Kong,
I'm
right?
in Hong Kong, Guruji.
Okay. I thought you're in
Guruji.
India.
Yes, Guruji.
No, I think last few sessions I've noticed your net is not good as far as we are concerned. You may be able to hear us, but we can't hear you well. Maybe you just check.
Let me check my location next week.
Yeah. No.
But on my side, you can see and hear everything very clearly.
Okay. But we have that issue. But anyway, so the point is, what's the point, Ramji? What is a rat? Rat. The mouse. The rat or the mouse at the feet of the Lord Ganesha is that mind which is tempted with food. Ganesha is not tempted with food. But what is Ganesha doing? So the giant head symbolizes giant intellect. So ill-proportioned head to the body symbolizes he is a man of grand wisdom. Body is small, head is big means what? He is a man of great wisdom. The result of it, the rat or the mouse here is tempted with so much food. The rat is waiting for the permission from the intellect. May I? Can I help myself? What is intellect doing? Looking straight. not saying yes. He only has to say yes, not, then the rat will finish off everything. So that is control. So when you contact the sense object, right through the experience, before, while, after, you have a perfect control over the experience. Sridharji, your handwriting is good, huh? Vango. Mela, table, stage mela vango. Because நீங்க half சுவாமி மாதிரி தெரியுது, full சுவாமி மாதிரி தெரியுது. நீங்க வாங்க. தாடி இருக்க, தோத்தி வேற இருக்க, நாமம் இருக்க, வேற என்ன வேணும்? Next time come in jeans. Jeans not allowed inga. You put the plus sign and write on the board, sir. Idella part of training future gurus. Sir, namaskar. அது போடுங்க. அது ஒரு little exercise you have to do. அது அந்த control you bring it outside. So what are we saying? No, I know. What? I'm just looking at how to phrase it, sir. Title, the 3 experiences. Okay, 3 experiences of the mind, put a title panel. Sir, you must write little big. People on online also must see. Eraser. You use that. Touch. Touch it again. Swipe to clear. Okay. Now you are right. Okay. Right, sir. 3 experiences of the mind. 3 types. Whatever you write, you write. Of the mind. What suddenly is becoming smaller and smaller? Point 1, sir. 1. Before experience. Before, just more experience. Before. Dash. Point 2. While dash. Point 3. After dash. Now answer also right. Now what happens? What is the experiences of the mind with reference to how the mind behaves with reference to the experiences? Gayatri Ma will tell. Before the experience, craving. Tremendous craving. Second, indulging. So while you're experiencing indulging, you go berserk as if there's no tomorrow for you. Third, lingering, as if there's no other experience for you, you only live in those past memories. We have future succession already created, sir. We only have to create a dress code also, Gayatri Ma also. That's all. Now it's all coming out. Correct, sir? Hey, sir, I'm writing that. Sir, indulgent spelling, sir? Hello, the pen. நிறைய ட்ரைனிங் கொடுக்கணும். DULGENCE. ஆமா. பரவாயில்ல சார், we got the message. கொடுங்க. ரொம்ப நன்றி சார். Thank you.
Next time,
Next time, கொடுக்க மாட்டேன். So, self-control when you are doing, you avoid these three. See, look at the way we are going into the depth of understanding of self-control. Different aspects of self-control. Self-control is when you operate on intellect. It doesn't mean you don't deny of any contact. You contact it, but you don't fall a prey to these three. If you fall a prey to these three, you're violating self-control. So every experience that you go through, intellect allows you to walk into the experience. So when you walk into experience without any craving, you are enjoying without indulging. After the experience, there is no lingering. So if these three aspects of the mind are arrested with the intellect, you are practicing self-control. So there is no taboo to possession enjoyment. You may possess and enjoy, and yet you can be a man of perfect control over senses. Yes, sir.
If abstinence is not required and you can enjoy everything, but without this craving or indulgence or lingering, why do people take sannyas? In the sense that you can be grihast, you can be in the world, provided you follow these principles. What is the need for sannyas?
When you want to intensify your tapas.
But is sannyas associated with abstinence? It is abstinence, right? But abstinence is not necessary. That's what you are saying. You are saying you can be in the middle of everything, enjoy everything, as long as it is not distracting you from your purpose, which is self-actualization, self-realization. So I am still trying to figure out what is the need for somebody to be abstaining from things,
So,
sannyas.
Right now, are you not abstaining from everything to gain this knowledge?
Yeah.
You are abstaining from everything else. You've switched off your phone.
Correct.
You've forgotten your mind of all other engagements. I said, I must gain this knowledge. Similarly, every sadhak must withdraw into that sanctuary of abstinence so that he gains that strength and wisdom so that he can go out into the marketplace, find himself immune, protected from the world. It is only a question of degree. But it is not a necessity for you to put on an ochre robe and become a sannyasi.
That's what I'm trying to understand.
It's not a necessity.
Yeah, because even a normal grihastha who is going through his work, can he attain self-realization?
Theoretically, yes.
But why practically it will not happen?
Because if he is all the time in the marketplace, it's like a ships which are all 365 days, 10 years, it's in the ocean, in the waters. What will happen to the ship?
Yeah, it will go bad. I mean, it will. Yeah.
So you understand the concept of dry docking.
Dry docking, yeah.
So tapas and life of withdrawal or abstinence is essential to build that inner strength and resilience so that you don't fall a prey to the external temptations which are constantly pounding on you. You can't find yourself in the marketplace unless you're already reached that state of perfection. So in order to reach that state of complete mastery, you need to keep intensifying your ability to withdraw. So a man of that purpose will keep his contact with the world as minimal as possible. Because what happens as you keep becoming more and more spiritual, you lose, what happens? You tell me, sir. As a person more spiritual, what happens?
You won't need anything else.
He
won't find any pleasure in anything else.
He becomes introverted. He has no interest. He is not fascinated. He is not interested. So I'm not trying to impress you. If you look at my US itinerary, there's one day they're taking me sightseeing. That also I said I don't want to. They're taking me sightseeing one day in 30 days. I said, I am not interested to see any site. I am not wanting to go any place. But I said, you must see this place. Okay, I'll see. I'm not doing a favor to them, but I'll be happy to enjoy and see that. But I have no, if you ask me, I have no interest. I am more excited to meet people in the classroom and exchange this knowledge. Or I can go all the way there to see sites. Genuinely, there's no interest. Never had, not that I had in the past and things. Perhaps if I have to measure myself with things which I had a desire for, even that has faded away. Why? You become more introverted. So in the second chapter of the Gita, you don't have to withdraw. You remain in the world where the world doesn't come to you. Why? So when a sannyasi wears an ochre robe, what happens to him, sir? It's an announcement that I am not available for any worldly transactions. Don't disturb me. So nobody will go and disturb him, right? Now, philosophically, when does the world disturb you? When does the world come to you and disturb?
When you show interest or when you are interested in that, yeah.
When you, no, not you are in the world, we're talking. You are in the world, and in the world, when will the world come and disturb you? When you, how allow, disturb in the sense, how the world will come and distract you only when you have an interest or a desire for it, isn't it? When there is a demand, there will be supply. So the principle of demand and supply come in. So if a man who has less desires, will the world come and disturb him? He is right in the marketplace. He is not wearing an ochre robe. He is a man of a grahastha, but he has no interest in it. Will the world disturb him? He is left to a world of himself. Even though being a grahastha, he is a world left to himself. He is not disturbed by the graham or the hasta. Nobody is disturbing him. He is in a world of his own. That is their problem. No, you will. You will play your obligation, you will play your role, you will mentor, you will guide, you will, whatever obligation you have to do, you understand. But because you have a greater purpose, they all are in line. In fact, have you not seen in the Shastras also, Swamis having family, the lady is serving the Swami or the Muni who is embarked on his journey. Serving the lady or the family, the household is helping the purpose he's engaged in. It's okay.
I was reading the book of A.C. Bhakta Vedanta Prabhupada of ISKCON. Even his spiritual path or his journey, it was not very comfortable in his family life. So I mean, I hardly see people who have both good grahastha life as well as sannyasi life. What do you say for this, sir?
We should not go by lifestyles or personalities, because you should understand the concept and calibrate it to your requirement. If you do what a particular guru or a Mahatma does, it may not fit you and you may not do the right thing for your evolution, because he did what was right for him. I am doing what's right for me. You should do what's right for you, because his personality, my personality, and all your personalities are different. So it has to be calibrated to your constitution. What does your personality require? So therefore, we are always discouraged or not encouraged rather to read lifestyles of personalities. So don't read autobiographies. It's their journey. Let it be their journey. Okay, sir. Get the teachings. So it is not something that you should do because they did it. As long as you're comfortable doing it, do it. So did I answer the question, sir? A sannyasi is not disturbed because he's announcing by wearing a robe. A spiritual man, philosophically, since he doesn't entertain any desire or demand for the world. So when did you ever invite me for any social gathering, Ramji? Why didn't you invite me, sir? I'm sure I would love to come along with you.
I know that you will not be interested or you will not enjoy it. That's just my assumption. So from whatever I have interacted with you.
I'm not frustrated because you didn't invite me, don't worry. I'm not frustrated. But the fact that you did not,
Yeah, sure.
so I have no desire.
But that is precisely my point that, okay, maybe you have answered it. What I'm saying is that for you, when I'm saying for you, for Vinayji, there is no need to wear a ochre robe or whatever you call it, kashaya vastram. Because we know that you are not interested in these things. So the people who wear them is only to keep others away from attracting them for these things, or just as an announcement to the world, or is there something different going on there in their mind compared to their mind and your mind, for example?
See,
Or in other words, at some stage in life, do you have to go into sannyas?
I wouldn't.
You won't.
I wouldn't, because
Right.
it is not needed.
Correct.
It is not needed, nor I can sit here and say what they're doing is wrong. It's not right for
No,
me to say
it's
so.
not right or wrong. I'm just trying to understand what is the logic behind it. That's
So my opening statement to your question was, I said to intensify tapas.
perhaps that's
So if somebody, it suits their personality, again, it has to be suiting to their personality. What is relevant for one may not be a sweeping to everybody. You can't give it a universal rule. So when I know what my personality constitutes, what my personality desires, demands, I don't need to do it. If I can carry on. You get it?
So I think we can conclude that sannyas is the
Correct.
natural progression of a totally introverted mind in some cases. Sannyas is the natural progression of a totally introverted mind in some cases.
I have to agree because he's saying conclude, no?
I'm only summarizing in a sentence the gist of our discussion.
It's true. Huh? Disclaimers there.
In some cases, because it doesn't apply.
It can't be a universal thing. Chepanma.
Guruji, one small doubt. This psychological depression and introvertedness have some similar symptoms or qualities. So how do you distinguish between both?
What symptoms are you noticing in me? I am afraid. This fellow is psychologically some depressed fellow.
Like they're also, they don't mix with the society. They keep to themselves. I mean, they appear as if they are not interested in life.
See, one is the concept we gave a lecture on loneliness to aloneness. So the thing is, one is arising out of a deficiency, another is arising out of self-sufficiency. Yesterday there was an invitation for a family function. My cousin asked me, "Are you going?" I said, "The function will go on without me going there also." It will go on without me going there, so let it go on. I am not interested. Which means I have to drive 1.5 hours to other part of city, sit there. I don't know what engagement going on, what drama going on, and they will give me some lavish food, and I have to eat at odd hour and then drive back at odd hour, which means my Brahma Muhurtam will go. I am not interested in that. But it is still, Sridharji, I said, if my parents are willing to go, I am willing to drive you. I offered myself to them. I'll do my dharma as a son. If you want to go, I'll take. They said, no, not interested. Thank you. Pandava saved me. Otherwise, imagine me going there. 5-6 hours of my evening gone, my day was gone. It destroys my time. Health gone, everything gone. I was sleeping without having any food. When I go there, I can't say don't eat. I have to eat unhealthy food, unhealthy time, unhealthy activity, and all discussion also is unholy discussion. Nobody will talk about Atman Brahman there. What am I talking? All subject matter, which as if I'm interested in, I'll be talking to them. What is it that is in my hitam there? Nothing in my hitam means in my good. Nothing is in my good. So how has that activity helped me in my evolution? No. So therefore, I keep a great distance from socializing. Waste of time, energy, and resources. I may be misunderstood. So be it. So be it. But wherever you have no choice but to play a role, there you are there like a lotus leaf in water. Wherever you have no choice to you be there, but you are in it and yet out of it. No interest, it's all drama, unnecessary drama. How bigger the hall, how fancy the decoration, how much they have spent, how much this, so much, all that is all that are talking. Absolutely waste of time and energy. So this kind of a natural aversion to an activity results in the world will not disturb you. So why are you worrying of the world? Naturally, there is self-control. Because you know interest. So remember, again, last point. There is question of self-control only to a person who has got desire. Can I measure my level of self-control to alcohol? Do I have any desire, Gautima? You were talking 1, 2, 3, 4 and all. So please justify that also, clarify that also. Self-control comes in only to a point or to a question when you have a desire. If I have no desire for alcohol, what self-control am I practicing? So self-control is measured to areas you have an interest or weakness for. That's where your intellect must come and ensure you don't violate these three, which is craving, indulging, lingering. But here we have gone above the desire. No desire, the world will not disturb you. But where the world disturbs you, there you got to be careful. Like the floor is fine, you don't have to worry. Where there's a floor is slippery, you have to be mindful of your foot. Mind your foot, mind your step. So where you have weaknesses, that's where you have to be mindful. When you have no desire, everything is fine. Don't worry, the world will not disturb you. Automatic self-control. In fact, you are living a life of sannyasi. Sannyasi is what? Okarob means you have burnt your desires for the world. If I can live that life of a sannyasi, doesn't matter what robe I wear. Isn't it? Correct. I had to tailor-make examples to army officers. So now non-army, I can tailor-make differently. Horses for courses. I am so grateful that they didn't offer and influence me. Right. Yeah. No, then I have to practice self-control. All right. We'll come back. Oh. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.